Anime has some of the most creative and coolest abilities, so we decided to make a list of the best and most awesome ones we could think of. Here are the 15 most broken anime abilities. And, spoiler alert, an ability that seeks to capture the heart, literally, heart constriction in Blood Lad, is actually Staz's favorite move, and he uses it quite often, either to end a fight early or as his finishing move. Well, we haven't seen him use it a lot as the anime was short-lived, just one season, but it was undoubtedly one of the coolest anime moves we had seen. The most beloved character in anime, Dazai Osamu, comes with his most powerful ability, No Longer Human. This ability nullifies the target's power on one condition, if Dazai can touch it, which, if he's getting attacked, usually he would be able to touch it in the very least. And in a world full of beings powered by their own abilities and those that rely on them for most of the combat, once they are nullified, it weakens them quite a bit. Well, it literally just makes them an average human, which makes the name of this ability quite ironic. Did you know that alternatively, this ability can also be interpreted as human disqualification, which actually kind of makes more sense? Like, you know, your humanity has been disqualified sort of thing. You've probably seen quite a number of spell-breaking or power nullification spells in anime, but this is Dazai's signature move, and this ability in itself is really powerful if you think about it, especially against those that are relying on magical power-ups, but I guess it's useless against humans? Oh no, I wasn't supposed to reveal that. Cut that out. Alucard is probably one of the coolest characters in anime, plus he is Dracula, but just backwards, so that makes him even cooler. Releasing control art number whatever already pretty frightening, and he definitely has a good number of cool abilities, but we think the one that really caught our eye is his familiar control. So just like an ability to control a few familiars, no, that's not all. It is actually an absorption ability where the target's power becomes his own to use. But what really makes this one shine is that now he has whatever he has absorbed as his minion in battle. Imagine he absorbs a powerful sorcerer, pair it with himself in battle as well, and now you have a little bit of a tougher battle to deal with. But we aren't focusing on just familiar control on its own, that's too simple. We are talking about familiar control with its full potential unlocked at level 0. That's right, an army at Alucard's disposal, an army of millions that took out a good chunk of crusades and battalions. The ability to summon an army at will? Now, that's a really cool ability. In Bleach, Suzuki Aizen is a master manipulator. Do you remember that plot twist? Don't even suspect him for a second. But if we pair his charming personality trait with this ability, it all just comes together nicely. Suzuki Aizen's Kanzen Saimin is a flawless ability, putting the target in complete hypnosis as long as they see the Kyoka Shigetsuya first. And unlike most abilities, this one doesn't seem to need any conscious effort to keep going. The Vizard stayed hypnotized for more than 100 years, so it is up to Aizen to break the trance if he wishes. The hypnosis will cause illusions and also take over all your senses, plus once it's cast, it has a 100% success rate. Unless the opponent is sightless, they can avoid this move. Oh, it does need Kyoka to activate, and if you touch the blade before it activates, you can avoid it. And you may also be able to detect something amiss within the illusions. Wait, perfect hypnosis? What's perfect about it then? Well, anyways, this ability falls in the vein of mind control, and we do like our mind control powers. Aizen's one being the more shinier one in the bunch. Huh? Wait, this one is way cooler though. We had to introduce this masterpiece of anime in this video somehow, and although other characters in anime also have time manipulation abilities, we chose to put this one on the list because, well, it is a time manipulation ability, and it's just cool, okay? If you're late for school, or just wish you had just a bit more extra time to procrastinate, Time Stop. As the name suggests, with this ability, time freezes around the user, and you can use the elements of pause in time to your advantage. Like Dio can float around freely, and you can also change the speed of some objects. There is a duration on this ability, but has the duration ever stopped anyone when it is literally related to time? A time limit on an ability that stops time? Actually, how did Dio put it again? Oh yeah, I remember. So basically, there is no duration. Okay, so for this one, while we haven't really seen the extent of Kibutsuji Muzan's powers in the anime, there is something usually going on with his body for sure. I mean, his limbs turned into something questionable. We'll just say it's questionable. And 8, his henchman? Well, this ability is his blood demon art Biokinesis. This is another insane ability on this list where he can shapeshift, change forms, like literally change forms, you know, the arm, yeah, plus he can multiply himself or something. Okay, we just had to peek at the manga just a little bit, but even though this ability hasn't fully shown itself in the anime, the hints are there. It is just a little bit more than your regular shape-shifting ability, and it's off the hook. Calm down, Muzan. Where's your neck going? Are you literally playing with the organs in your body? Ugh. Okay, but you already know why this one is one of our picks, although one of the lower ranked ones. We'll show you why. We have seen Meliodas use this ability many times in the anime, almost in every fight. He uses it so much that it honestly seems to be his favorite move. If not, it is definitely his signature move, and who can blame him? If I had an ability like that, I would also definitely be spamming it in a fight. The full counter ability allows Meliodas to absorb attacks and unleash them back tenfold. This ability really is overpowered because it has been the defeater of many of Meliodas' enemies, and there is no limit to this ability. It can be used as many times as the user wishes, and it is not only limited to absorb just one attack, it will absorb all attacks, accumulate them into one single and really powerful attack that honestly would even one-shot the opponent. It was one of the moves that made Meliodas so powerful, and honestly, it really is pretty overpowered. Of course, as long as you get hit, you can counter it. Oh, like a parry move, but stronger, as in one of the greatest parry moves of all time. Wait, that's a different list. We would argue that regardless of what we think in terms of abilities, One for All is the strongest quirk in the entire anime. Yes, we have seen other quirks that seem stronger than One for All, but ultimately, Midoriya Izuku's quirk comes out on top. I mean, the anime implies it too. This ability, earned through hard work and not just inherited, is an amazing ability as we find out more and more from the latest seasons. It isn't only a powered-up quirk passed on from one hero to another, it also contains their abilities now. It is a culmination of experience, cultivation, power, and will combined into one. If we think about where this quirk came from, One for All is literally a quirk that has all for one. It needs excessive training and practice to be able to wield it, but once you do, it becomes one really powerful ability with enhanced strength, speed, and now with even more quirks. We are really excited to see how much further this ability evolves and demonstrates itself in Midoriya's future fights, because it is already pretty amazing, and we believe it is also one of the more overpowered ones. Remember how All Might used it? Really can't imagine how far Midoriya will take this one. We are all familiar with Naruto and those popular eye patterns that somehow seem to appear everywhere. Yeah, we know. We have seen those red eyes way too much. Wait, what's this though? A better Sharingan? Tell me more. We know Sharingan, exclusive to the Uchiha clan, enhanced abilities, mind reading, foresight, great observation skills, and you know the rest of it all. But now we have Mangekyou Sharingan. This ability is an enhanced version of the already powerful Sharingan. It must have been Sasuke's birthday when he was blessed with this amazing that was not what I expected. We have already seen the most powerful demonstrations of this ability in the anime, so there is not much to explain, but we do think this ability has its vulnerabilities, which is why we hesitate to place it up too high unless you can summon great beings too. Number 1, put this on number 1 right now. Let's not be too hasty though. There's more to come. For a seemingly ordinary shut-in, Subaru has accomplished so much and defeated so many powerful enemies just because of this single ability. Return by Death doesn't only allow you to respawn if you die, so you're basically immortal, but it also allows you to time travel into a certain time in the past with your memories intact. Although the version of the past may differ each time, Subaru can change the circumstances in his favor as he now has the knowledge of the future. This ability allows Subaru to plan ahead, gain an upper hand in situations, and even avoid death, whether it is his own death or the death of his friends. He dodges his demise left and right. And so far, we haven't seen any limit to this ability, so assuming it's endless, basically Subaru would be victorious each and every time, even more so because he is the only one who would recall any details to avoid or plan for situations, making his enemies have no upper hand at all. Of course, the requirement of activating activating this ability is as broken as the ability itself, but we really had to place this as one of the most broken abilities we have seen in anime so far. What? He even has superpowers now? So for this one, we have the Founding Titan's ability, but because the Founding Titan isn't an ability, and actually a whole Titan, we will call this one the Coordinate. So, Eren Yeager, we already know from the very beginning that he can transform into Titans, and from the recent seasons we have found out that almost everyone can. Okay, but then you have the ability to be able to control them. Now that's what goes and causes a rumbling level calamity across the globe. There's no need for us to tell you how powerful this ability is, as it is already demonstrated in the anime way better than anything we could put together. But what we can talk about is how cool it really is. An army of Titans to control at your will? How insane is that? Not as insane as Eren, of course, but still pretty wild to even think of. But just a bit of a setback is that Titans are still vulnerable enough to be killed, so it isn't like this ability is the end of the world. Well, kind of is, but you know what I mean. Although, in the anime itself, they can't take on all the Titans of the Rumbling, and them being colossal Titans is no joke. Well, Levi could do it, right? Levi as a Titan? Yeah, actually, never mind. You're probably a bit surprised that this is so high up, and to be honest, we are too. The ability is true to its name, but you know, if we think about it, the goal of all life really is death. Well, that's depressing. But the thing that makes this ability so overpowered is that it causes targets within a certain radius to die instantly. This ability is seriously so overpowered, even more so because it can be paired with Ainz's other abilities to even lay waste to the undead. While this ability has a setback as it goes into a 100-hour cooldown after each use, the one-time effect it has is so powerful that the cooldown doesn't even matter. We think it is one of Ainz's most powerful spells, and seriously, you can kill an army within seconds of the spell being unleashed, so how can you not place this one as one of the really broken spells in anime? Imagine this in your video games, you'd really be spamming it any chance you get. It is unclear if this spell works against higher level enemies, as we haven't really seen Ainz use this spell against anyone particularly powerful, but then again, he has an arsenal of other spells for each circumstances, so who knows. Evolving from a simple move called Predator, where Rimuru was just eating everything in his way, to Gluttony, we got Beelzebub. This ability allows him to consume his enemies whole and then either replicate their shape and abilities or just destroy them completely. Truly a terrifying ability where the enemy is overwhelmed because, well, they are being eaten, and on top of that it makes Rimuru even stronger, with maybe a bit of aftertaste? In anime, this is one of the most overpowered moves of Rimuru, and kind of like his signature move, as he has used it more than just once. We also really enjoy seeing him overpower his enemies with this move. If we talk about this ability within the realms of Rimuru's reality, it is way too broken already, as it also has limitless uses. As long as Rimuru has some space in his stomach, anything is possible no matter how big the enemy. Also, isn't his appetite and metabolism insane? No matter how much he eats, he doesn't gain a pound. Now that's an ability I wish I could have. All that cake and ice cream I could eat. Once you are hit with this ability, you are bound to the user's will and you cannot leave. In domain expansion, the user of this ability will be powered up, and on top of that, the attacks cannot be avoided. We have seen more than one kind of domain expansion in the anime, but what makes this ability even more broken, there is more than one type of domain with different abilities corresponding with the user. It is more or less like their room they want to show you, but then they lock you in it and you can't unlock the door unless they decide to let you out. It's scary. It is one of the most powerful techniques in the anime itself, but of course with its drawbacks, as it will exhaust most of your power as you use it. Making this technique better the more skilled the user casting it is. The strongest display of this ability is by Gojo, though with his ability to even cast it more than once, who else could it have been except for this guy? His domain breaks the minds of his targets with information override, causing a mental overload and one you cannot escape from. So for our number one, the reason that One Punch Man is called One Punch Man, and that's because of his One Punch KO. This isn't Saitama's only ability, as he has different and more enhanced versions of this move. Wait, how could you enhance his ability even more? That's just calling for a universal catastrophe. but one punch is undoubtedly one of the strongest moves in anime. Like how the name suggests, this ability absolutely destroys any target in one punch. If Saitama isn't using it, you know he's holding back, because once he punches you, you are more or less done for. This ability isn't even in its final form. Have you seen the serious punch? That would really just wipe your existence off the face of the planet. We don't really need to tell you about how broken this ability really is, when in the anime itself, it is already really broken. But just imagine a hero that only needs a singular punch to banish all his enemies. Oh wait, you really don't have to imagine, because that's literally what Saitama is. And he has demonstrated time and time again what a stupid ability it is. Oh, you don't agree? Well, it is difficult to say which ability comes out on top really, since different abilities come in handy in different situations. But do let us know where some of these should be ranked and what we missed. We're interested in hearing what you have in mind. Thanks for watching.